As kids, we hid under our blankets from ghosts and the things that go bump in the night. As an adult, we realize that sometimes the monsters we fear are real, so we take precautions to protect our families and our homes from people who wish to do us harm. There are many different things to consider when choosing your primary home defense weapon, and even what style of weapon is best for your particular circumstances. So, how do you decide what firearm to use for home defense? Stick around. I'll show you how. Hey guys, welcome to Start Prepping Now, where we offer tips and tricks to help make you a better prepper and homesteader. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we post new content to help take your prepping to the next level. So, if you're watching this video, you probably find yourself in the market for a new home defense weapon. In this video, we're going to break down the different options and different things to consider when choosing a home defense weapon. There are many things that you should take into consideration before you go out and make a purchase, such as the type of home you live in, how many people live in your house, things like that. We're going to kind of break some of those down and try to help make this decision a little bit easier for you. First off, the type of home you live in is going to make a difference. For example, if you live in a little bit of a dated home, it's going to be different than if you live in a modern home or if you live in, say, a mobile home or something like that. The building materials used are going to play, I consider it a pretty important factor in deciding. The thing we're talking about here is called over-penetration. Over-penetration is basically how much is your round, your projectile that you're firing, going to over-penetrate where it's not intended to. For example, something like a 45 APC round is actually going to penetrate between 3 to 4 walls with a random trajectory as it passes through the walls. So if you shot straight, it may not continue to go straight for 3 to 4 walls worth of penetration. It may go through the first one straight and then change directions. That's important to know. It's important to know how that round's going to behave if it does over-penetrate. Similarly, a 5.56 NATO round is going to have a fairly similar over-penetration issue if using full metal jacket. However, if you use something like a hollow point, that becomes much less of an issue with the 5.56. Truth be told, every round has the possibility of over-penetration. Especially in modern walls and thin walls like in a mobile home with the wood paneling, especially. It just does not offer enough resistance to really slow down the round enough to stop things. If you happen to live in an older home where you have plaster and lath, that becomes much less of an issue. It's still possible, of course, if you have a heavy enough round or under the right circumstances, but it becomes much less of an issue with plaster and lath than it is with drywall interior walls. One weapon style that actually has a little bit less of an issue with this is a shotgun. Don't get me wrong, if you're shooting heavy buckshot through a shotgun, you're going to have an over-penetration issue. However, if you're shooting birdshot, which I would recommend for home defense over buckshot, is much less of an issue because the projectiles weigh significantly less, generally speaking, and the amount of powder is just like the thrust from your shell is spread out between 6, 8, up to 30 if you're running certain birdshot projectiles. So the thrust behind them is significantly less than for one rifled barrel, which is designed to push one projectile out in a flat, fast pace. Another thing to consider would be the experience level of the shooters in your home. Anybody who may find themselves in a situation where they have to defend the home you should take that experience level into consideration. A pistol is going to be fairly forgiving. A rifle is less forgiving because it is designed for more of a range shot than a close shot, so it's much more difficult to make a close shot with a rifle than it is, say, a pistol, in my opinion. And the most forgiving, again, is going to be the shotgun, because the shotgun is not pushing out one projectile, it has a wider shot pattern than a pistol or a rifle will. right? So the shotgun is going to be the most forgiving for inexperienced shooters. With that said, obviously, there's nothing wrong with having a rifle or pistol as long as the shooters are experienced enough to make safe shots, right? It doesn't make sense to just start blasting holes in a wall, considering the loved ones you're trying to protect may be on the other side of that wall. And we've already went over why over-penetration is an issue, so you can see how that could spell disaster. With a shotgun, again, over-penetration is still possible, but it's much more forgiving than the other two options would be. The third thing I would take into consideration would be maneuverability and mobility. Again, today we're not getting into specifics on different weapon styles, but shotgun versus pistol versus rifle. What is going to allow you the most mobility and maneuverability throughout your home? If you are going room to room to clear those rooms to, check for intruders and take down any threats, the pistol is going to offer you the best in mobility and maneuverability. It's much easier to clear a room with a pistol than it is a rifle. It's harder to round corners with a longer rifle or a longer gun like a shotgun or a rifle than it is with a shorter weapon like a pistol. So for maneuverability, the pistol's going to win that one. In second place, I would put the shotgun because of the wider shot pattern. You do not necessarily need to completely recontort yourself in order to make a shot because of the forgiving shot pattern that a shotgun has. Even at close range, you're going to, if you're only a few feet away, you're still going to have a relatively large shot pattern compared to one projectile from a pistol or a rifle. So in second place, behind the pistol, I would put the shotgun. And in third place, I would put the rifle for maneuverability. Only because if you have a challenging shot, you may need to move yourself. You may need to reposition yourself in order to take a safe shot, which is going to leave you open to attack. If you can't fire back, that gives your intruder an opportunity to fire at you because there's no immediate threat. So in third place there, I would put the rifle for those reasons. Another thing that's pretty important to consider is price, right? So price actually can kind of overrule all the things we've talked about. If you have a set budget that you have to stick to, it can pretty significantly dictate what you're going to get. Cost-wise, of course, you can spend as much or as little on all three of these as you so choose. Generally speaking, though, your least expensive option is probably going to be the shotgun. You can pick up a shotgun, a used shotgun, but you can pick up a shotgun for anywhere from $150 to $200 on the low end. Again, you can spend thousands of dollars on a shotgun if you have the means, but just to get your first weapon in the house so that you can defend yourself and your family, you can pick up a shotgun for a used one anywhere from $150 to $200. For a used pistol in the same type of category, you're going to be looking anywhere from $200 to $300 for a used one. And then for rifles, you're going to be kind of in the $200 to $400 range for a used rifle in a similar category. If you're going pistol or rifle, you probably want a semi-automatic. Shotguns, you can absolutely get away with a pump shotgun, which is kind of neat because the shotgun has that unique racking sound, which is intimidating. That adds an intimidation factor to the shotgun that is just maybe not necessarily as evident in the pistol or the rifle. But like I said earlier, price is going to dictate everything. So my advice to you would be, if I had to pick just one, if I got to pick, I would pick a shotgun personally for home defense. I feel like it would be the safest option with my children in the house. I feel like it is most forgiving, so that if somebody other than me had to be the one to go investigate and defend the home, then it would be more forgiving for that person. And I just feel like the cost makes it a lot more obtainable. But if you already have one of the other options, that's fine. I'm not at all saying get rid of your rifle and get a shotgun, or get rid of your rifle and get a pistol, or get rid of your pistol and get a shotgun. That's not at all it. I think that whatever you have is the best weapon at the time. If you have a way to defend yourself, that's perfect. Some things to consider going either way though, no matter which route you decide to go or you already have. Consider the price of ammunition, right? Because you are going to want to be proficient with your weapon. You are going to want to be able to practice going through your home with it. Go through your home unloaded, and practice clearing rooms with it. Practice all these things. Figure out, is it customizable? I don't mean toys, but a flashlight is very handy to have on any of those three options while you're clearing your house. Because if it's dark and you have to do everything one-handed, that's not great. Because one hand's on a flashlight and one hand's doing the other thing, that's not great. But the price of ammunition is important because you should be putting in a lot of practice while also having a very least small stockpile at your house. The most expensive shotgun in the world does you no good if you have no ammo to defend yourself from intruders. Same way with rifle and pistol. Unless you're planning on throwing it at an intruder, that doesn't do you any good if you do not have ammunition. Since I did say that the shotgun is the best option, in my opinion, I will say that the two most popular models are the Mossberg 500 and the Remington 870. Both are solid shotguns. Both are highly customizable. Both are in a very similar price range to each other. I honestly wouldn't say one is better than the other, although they both have their own fan camps who would absolutely tell me I'm wrong, and here's the reasons. But that's an advantage to you because now you can go online and you can look up reviews and you can pick the one you think will work best for you. They will both shoot all the way up to 3-inch shells, so you're not limited on ammo, which is wonderful. Both of those models are going to start in the $300 range, so they're both pretty affordable options. They both have barrels that can be swapped out. If you chose to go with a rifled barrel or a smoothbore barrel, which means you can use it also for hunting purposes and not just for home defense if you so choose. I'm a big fan of weapons and tools in general that can have multi-uses. I feel like that's just a good way to save some money rather than picking up 2 or 3 different of the same variety thing. You can just use one thing for multiple chores. That's wonderful. So both of those would be great options for that. They're not, you don't have to get the tactical variety of either one, which is a little less practical for hunting perhaps. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that we were able to break down some of this and kind of explain it in a way that makes sense. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you can take your prepping to the next level. Also, if you think I missed anything or if you've got a different opinion on this video than I came to, please let me know in the comments so we can talk about it and see maybe you can change my mind. Who knows? Until next time, guys, happy prepping.